Like Dave said, good morning, San Diego. I'm David Davis.
And I'm Lena Lewis. Today is Sunday, September the 26th.
And how warm will it get today? That's the question.
Yeah, and Dave Scott has the answer. Dave, we're excited about what you're about to tell us.
Yes.
As the sun comes up in this Rancho San Diego neighborhood, it appears to be a quiet suburb of San Diego, but you can bet that inside these homes, people are certainly talking about what happened yesterday. And also this morning, one of the residents here sweeping up what's left of some of the broken glass that was shattered in that explosion. Residents in this neighborhood who were here at the time of the explosion say it is absolutely a miracle that this woman is still alive after what they saw and what they heard. Of course, investigators still looking into what, why, and how something like this could have happened in a quiet neighborhood. And again, Chef Terry Miller being hailed as a hero this morning for running to help rather than running in the opposite direction. The lawyers who successfully sued to strike down California's same-sex marriage ban are now urging a federal appeals court to quickly allow gay marriages to resume. Well, it seems like this could be a very powerful thing that's brewing here right now, because you mentioned, you know, people, once they got over the shock that you're a conservative, but as you said, you come from a community where you went through some pretty tough times. When other people start seeing where you are now, what you've been through, and that you were able to get out of it, it seems very likely that a lot of people would be drawn to you and perhaps some of the ideas that you've embraced. Gates pledges to these recruits as well as the Marines to make sure they have every piece of equipment they might need to keep safe during the time of war. In fact, he told them that he thinks of them all as his own sons. If you're headed to the airport today, you might want to give yourself some extra time for traffic. That's because America's Finest City Half Marathon is today. The whole idea is to get people to ride the trolley or ride the bus. We're at this is on Route 9, the bus that heads off to the SeaWorld area, and we've got some folks on it bus this morning. Hi, good morning, you guys. And a suspected drunk driver is in custody this morning after a fiery car crash on Interstate 5 in National City. This happened just before 3 o'clock this morning on Interstate 5. A desperate plea from the mother of the victim. Estela Martinez wants to know who shot and killed her 15-year-old daughter, Joanna Vargas. ¿No sabes si había alguna persona que no le gustaba su hija o algo? Nada?
La verdad, no, yo nunca le supe.
Martinez says she has no idea why anyone would want to hurt her daughter, and that she had no idea her daughter was not at home in the middle of the night. There's nothing like a baseball game, though, when it's hot outside.
That's
Get a nice cold Coke and a hot dog and some cotton candy and peanuts. And
They taste better at a ballpark.
You feed Lena at the ballpark.
I'm happy.
For Lena, it's got nothing to do with the actual game part.
Listen, I cheer when they score.
She likes the uniforms.
I love to sing the song in the 7th inning. I love to participate. Right. I just may not understand.
And you know what?
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of the experience. That's right.
It is, and it's a good part, especially if you're hungry.
Exactly. Even if you're not, still got to do it.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm a father. My daughter is over there. My wife. It's what motivates me.
26-year-old Alex was deported after a domestic dispute. He hasn't seen his wife or his daughter, who are in Los Angeles, in 5 months.
My wife tells my daughter that I'm here visiting family. We talk on the phone, and she says, "Daddy, come home." But how can I do that if I don't have the necessary paperwork?
Now, as he looks over the fence that separates him from his loved ones, he tells us in broken English why it's hard to keep back the tears.
It's something wrong, you know. My heart is like that.
Alex had been in the United States for 10 years, hanging drywall, making a good living, but without the proper immigration papers. Now he feels as if his dignity has been taken away. Here, he has only the clothes he's wearing and a desire for his old life.
Cuéntame de lo que sientes como un ser humano, estado aquí parado esperando su oportunidad para cruzar. ¿Qué es? No se puede sentir dignidad. ¿Cómo te sientes?
No me siento con dignidad.
I feel powerless.
You know, it might be a fun thing to do for Father's Day. You know, Dad and son go down to check out the boats.
All day till 4 today?
Till 4 o'clock. Just watch out for that big loud cannonball.
Don't stand right next to the cannon.
Yeah, I was standing right next to it. It was really loud yesterday. Officials in Mexico City now say police officers may have partially blocked the exit at a nightclub where 12 people were trampled to death. You know, I've been daydreaming just a little bit.
I'll bet you have.
Yeah, I've been picturing myself in a big, red, fancy speedboat.
And look at you now.
Just thinking about it, yeah.
Voila.
Look at this. Then dice que por el gas que cuesta tanto dinero, que es mejor.
Sí, porque no tengo carro también. Por eso me vengo más en el bus.
Okay. Yeah, Maria says she doesn't have a car. But, you know, we are hearing that there was low voter turnout yesterday, and that could be reflected perhaps in the folks that we're talking to this morning. A lot of people saying that they did not vote, and those who did vote saying that they're a little disappointed in the result. Talk about a bad day for one Atlanta family. An out-of-control car crashed through the roof of their home and got stuck. In northeastern Tennessee, some locals are outraged at a young man running for homecoming queen. Nate Morabito reports on one student's efforts to be crowned.
Yo necesito saber qué pasó con ella y la verdad si ustedes.
A desperate plea from the mother of the victim. Estela Martinez wants to know who shot and killed her 15-year-old daughter, Joanna Vargas. ¿No sabes si había alguna persona que no le gustaba su hija o algo? Nada?
La verdad, no, yo nunca le supe.
Martinez says she has no idea why anyone would want to hurt her daughter and that she had no idea her daughter was not at home in the middle of the night. Police say the shooting happened around 1:20 in the morning. Vargas and some friends were hanging out at Lindbergh Park when she was struck by a bullet. In the early morning hours, police had to deliver the message to her parents.
We've just been to her folks to notify them of her death. It appears at this point that she snuck out of the house, came here to the park with her boyfriend, along with her female cousin and her boyfriend. That made up the 4 people in the group. They just appear to be hanging out here in the park. It doesn't appear that they were doing anything else.
Police say as the group stood around in the park, an unknown suspect fired a round at them and struck Joanna. She died at the scene. A white SUV was spotted driving away from the park at the time of the shooting. Police are not sure if it is related to the incident, but they would like anyone with information about it or the incident itself to contact them. Residents in the neighborhood were shocked to hear the news as their morning began. In hearing what happened in your neighborhood overnight, what's going through your mind?
It's pretty shocking. We seem to have a pretty nice neighborhood here, and there's a nice blend of cultures and people, and there's a lot of children, and it's particularly alarming that it would happen at the park where my son goes.
¿No sabías que ella salió de la casa?
No, yo nunca. Yo sabía que estaba dormida.
And this mother, desperate for answers in the loss of her own child, to find out who could have done this to her little girl.
I'm a father. My daughter is over there, my wife. It's what motivates me.
26-year-old Alex was deported after a domestic dispute. He hasn't seen his wife or his daughter, who are in Los Angeles, in 5 months.
My wife tells my daughter that I'm here visiting family. We talk on the phone and she says, "Daddy, come home." But how can I do that if I don't have the necessary paperwork?
Now, as he looks over the fence that separates him from his loved ones, he tells us in broken English why it's hard to keep back the tears.
It's something wrong, you know. My heart is like that.
Alex had been in the United States for 10 years, hanging drywall, making a good living, but without the proper immigration papers. Now he feels as if his dignity has been taken away. Here he has only the clothes he's wearing and a desire for his old life.
Cuéntame de lo que sientes como un ser humano. He estado aquí parado esperando su oportunidad para cruzar. No se puede sentir dignidad. ¿Cómo te sientes?
No me siento con dignidad.
I feel powerless. I'm brave enough to try and cross, but I'm unable to.
He says he's aware of the dangers he will face as he tries to cross over that fence. While we were with him, we saw Border Patrol officials detaining people who chose to jump the fence in broad daylight. Over a megaphone, Border Patrol officials telling the people they detained, quote, "You need a lot of guts to cross over here." Those words are not surprising to Alex. In fact, it's what concerns him even more than the fence.
The fence doesn't represent anything to me. What I'm worried about are the patrols. The truth is, they mock us.
He holds a rosary for comfort. Local neighborhood kids who also have dreams of crossing over hang out with Alex while he waits for nightfall. He, like many others throughout Mexico and other countries, chose to leave a life of poverty, hoping to find the American dream they can picture as they peer through the holes in the fence separating the United States from Mexico. Alex says going to the U.S. is all about survival. He says that he and many others like him are willing to do work that Americans are not. And to Americans who are angry about illegal immigration, Alex has this to say.
I would hope the same thing I'm going through would happen to them, so they can see that this situation is not so easy.
For all the people that manage to cross over into the United States illegally, there are many others who do not make it. Crosses are lined up along one border fence in Tijuana, representing people who have died while trying to enter the United States. Some crosses are only marked unidentified, while others bear the names of those who died, like 19-year-old Marcelo Figueroa Vasquez or 21-year-old Jorge Lemos Contreras. For those who did not make it over but survived their attempted journey, there is a place in Tijuana where many of them end up. Casa de Migrantes is a safe haven of sorts for people who've been deported. They come from all parts of Mexico as well as other countries, and they basically wait here for one more chance to try and cross the border.
Prácticamente no tienen nada, solamente sus vidas.
Padre Alfredo Camarero Gonzalez says the people he helps at Casa de Migrantes don't have anything, only their lives. They come here for food and a place to sleep while they plan their next try to get into the United States. Padre Gonzalez has worked with immigrants all over the world, including Rome, Italy, Africa, and Argentina. He says it doesn't matter where they are from, the migrants he's helped all have one thing in common.
The reality is many of them leave because of a deteriorating economy. They either have to leave or die of hunger.
He holds weekly masses like this one for the community, as well as special masses for the migrants who've been deported. It's a source of comfort for people Padre Gonzalez describes as just trying to achieve the American dream.
A lot of them have a fantasy of arriving in the United States, working hard and improving their economic situation.
But Padre Gonzalez says many times those dreams are crushed even before they cross the border. Bandits often ambush the migrants and rob them. That's what happened to 40-year-old Gerardo Saldaña, who was just trying to cross days ago. They ripped his clothes. They even took his shoes. Saldaña says his life in Mexico was pretty good until his father got sick and their government didn't help them out. He remembers the moment he decided he had to try and get into the United States.
It was one Christmas. Our holiday supper was frijoles and tortillas.
Saldaña made it to the States and got a job as a dishwasher, but was recently deported over what he says was a misunderstanding with police. He says, like others, they don't want to cause any problems. They just want a better life.
We are immigrants, just like they were in the beginning. What were there? 13 colonies? They had to migrate to have a better life.
21-year-old Mario Perete was 7 years old the first time he entered the United States illegally. He comes from a poor family with dreams, just like everyone else.
A house? I'd like to have a car too. It doesn't have to be real nice. Just enough to get around, and money to help my family.
He and Saldaña and the other guys at Casa de Migrantes say they will keep trying again and again. Saldaña sees himself as something that many Americans may not.
I'm a dreamer. I want my dreams to come true.